Heroic barbell. Time to get this weight, yo, it's heavy, can't you tell? Heroic barbell.
Hey guys, Andrew with Heroic Barbell here. Let me ask you if this has ever happened to you. You're in the gym and you need to do your heavy bench set, but you look around and there's either no one else in the gym, or the people who are available to spot you either look too weak to do so, or probably aren't going to be able to do so correctly. So what do? You can't use the traditional rack for the bench press safely. So, are you screwed? No, actually, there is something else you can do. I'm going to teach you today how to bench press safely in the power rack without a spotter.
Who needs a spotter? I'm a beast, a god amongst men. Spotting is for the weak. It's my set, and if I die, I die. Yeah!
Hey man, do you need some help?
I don't need a spotter!
Bench press is an alpha lift for sure, but no one in their right mind is going to think less of you for taking some safety precautions while you bench. It's estimated that 11 people die in the weight room every year, and virtually all of these deaths are due to the bench press. That being said, it's probably a good idea to use a competent spotter when you can. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Let's get one thing straight. If you're bench pressing and you have a spotter, and you do 4 reps without the spotter touching the bar, but then on the 5th rep, the spotter touches the bar, you did 4 reps on the bench press. Getting stronger requires an incremental increase on weight on the bar over time. Weight on the bar is a direct reflection of your ability to produce force against it. In other words, if you can bench press 400 pounds without the spotter touching the bar, you know beyond the shadow of a doubt that you are capable of at least producing 400 pounds of force on the bar. If someone else's hands or fingers becomes part of that lifter bar system, now all hell's broken loose. You don't know how much both the spotter and yourself have contributed to force production upward on that bar. This takes away your objective data point telling you how much force you are capable of producing. Keeping anyone's fingers but your own off the bar at all times ensures that you're lifting all of the weight every time. So, here's rule number 1 for spotting the bench press. After the bar is unracked, 1, the spotter does not touch the bar unless after the bar leaves the chest, the lifter brings the bar back down to the chest. 2nd, the set is done and it's time to help the lifter re-rack the bar. That's it. If you are spotting the bench press, unless those 2 things are happening, do not touch the barbell. If asked to do so as the spotter, you are also responsible for helping give the lifter a lift off, which means that as you unrack the bar, you grab the bar and pull it out over his shoulder joint to help him get it across the delicate structures that are his neck and face. This helps the lifter not waste so much energy getting the bar unracked, because it can be difficult to do so at times. Here's an old bench press video that I think is a good indicator of what a proper spot should look like. So I'm going to start out by giving this guy a signal to tell him when it's time to lift off. You know, usually say 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3 or something like that, and then lift off like that. Now you see, he handed it off to me, and then he steps back. He's done. The only thing he's going to do is help me if I get the weight stuck on my chest, and he's going to help me re-rack it at the end of this set here. That's all the spotter's there for, just like that. Make sure you go over this procedure in as much detail as is necessary to get the spotter to do what you want them to do. The most important thing to remember is that the spotter does not touch the barbell. If you communicate all of this effectively to your spotter, and they still insist on touching the bar in some way during your set, they are mentally and emotionally challenged. And God knows that a correct response to them when the set is over might look something like this.
Come on, you got it.
Abu! No!
Infidels! You have touched the forbidden treasure! You will never again see the light of day!
If you don't have a spotter and you still want to bench in a traditional rack without using the power rack, then please at least have the sense to not collar the bar, so that if you get stuck, you can tip the bar to one side and slide the weights off and then get out from under it.
Mom! Mom!
One more thing before we get started. This method works a lot better if you arch your back when you bench press. No, arching your back on the bench press isn't cheating, and there are a couple of advantages to doing it this way. First of all, arching your back allows your pecs to attack the weight at a much more mechanically advantageous position. Your pec is shaped like a fan that originates at the glenohumeral joint and then fans out across your chest. When you go from having your pecs flat against your chest like this to arching your back and having them now go like this, now all of a sudden that's a lot closer to the bar path. This allows you to lift more weight, which allows you to get stronger. This works for the same reason that you can decline bench more than you can flat bench, and that you can flat bench more than you can incline bench. An arch also helps with mechanical efficiency by bringing the bar path as a whole closer to vertical. A correct bench press will produce an angle between your elbow and your torso at the bottom of the lift that is less than 90 degrees. This is done to prevent shoulder impingement. One result of this is that the bar path is not vertical, but a diagonal line that starts above the shoulder joint at lockout and ends at the point where the bar touches your chest, somewhere on your sternum, but below the shoulder joint. Ensuring a low touch point on the chest eliminates the threat of shoulder impingement. If the back is arched, the touch point on the chest is brought closer to the shoulder joint, which means the bar path becomes more vertical while still maintaining the acute angle between the humerus and the torso. To get a great back arch, pinch your shoulder blades together and slide them down to create a nice stable base for your upper body. You can do this before or after laying down on the bench, as long as you maintain this tightness for the duration of the set. Now, place your toes an inch or two behind your knee. By pushing your heels into the floor, slide your butt up the bench and bring it as close to your shoulders as possible. Your shoulders need not move, so use your arms and the bar to keep them in place. Try to keep your arch reinforced by keeping constant tension on the knees, the butt, and keeping your heels on the ground for the entire set. Now that you know how and why to arch your back, we can finally talk about how to use the power rack to keep you safe when you bench alone. Take your flat bench and place it inside the rack in a position that makes the head close enough to the J-hooks so that you can comfortably unrack the bar when positioned on the bench. Position the safety somewhere between your face and the J-hooks so that the bar touches your chest when your back is arched, but not the safeties, or especially your face. Pick the highest place for the safeties you can, and take some time with the empty bar testing out different configurations. You don't want to pick a random setup only to find that it was too low later when it's too late. Now that you've found the appropriate setup, if you fail a bench press rep, all you have to do is let the bar return to your chest, then push it back towards your head until it touches the safeties. Don't relax your arch until the bar is off your chest. Slide yourself out from under the bar and sit up. Take a deep breath and relax. You failed your set, but you're alive. Congrats. A lot of people have a hard time unracking a heavy bench without a spotter. This is because the bar is behind your shoulder joint while it is in the hooks and has to be pulled over on top of the shoulder joint when it is unracked. A very disadvantaged mechanical movement. Here's how to take a heavy bench out of the rack without getting a lift off from a spotter. Position yourself on the bench such that your eyes are as far behind the bar as you can get them, but not so far behind that this positioning will cause the J-hooks to interfere with your bar path. Again, playing around with the empty bar is useful here. After taking your grip and getting your arch, push your butt off the bench as high as possible. This will get your chest as horizontally close to the bar as possible, temporarily increasing your leverage on the bar. Push the bar out of the hooks and pull your butt back onto the bench. Use the momentum of your lower body and your upper body musculature to pull the bar over your shoulder joint. Now you're in position to bench. One more thing before I go. I'd still recommend using a spotter when you can, provided that you can keep them from robbing you of reps by touching the bar. A liftoff from a spotter is obviously going to waste a lot less energy than unracking the bar the weight I've just showed you. Alright guys, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Now go make the world a better place.
Like the video and subscribe to the channel! Not liking videos and not subscribing to the channel is for the weak!